So today we kick off with welcoming video game amateurs, right? I know, inquiring minds want to know, including myself. So they are an NYC-based gaming collective that creates interactive experiences for individuals that share a passion for video games, anime, and pop culture. They're set to kick off this year's Power Up Festival, a high-energy community-powered event bringing gaming, food, music, and creatives to the Bronx. And joining us to share more is Video Game Amateurs co-founders Brandon Henriquez and Luiggy Gomez.
What's up?
What's up? Thank you for having us.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this segment. Yes, I'm so excited. After I read everything that's going on, I was like, oh. First, I want to say the Bronx Brewery is the place to be nowadays.
Yeah, super thankful to just have them as partners. We've been partnering with them since like 2022, and it's just been an honor to just be a part of just the culture, honestly.
Yeah, but you know, aside from the spacing, the outdoor venue, they just seem to have like their hands on the they have their hands on the pulse of like what's trending, what's actually innovative, and it's just every time we have somebody on, they've partnered up with Bronx Brewery.
I mean, it's a unique space, you know, and I think being in the Bronx, it's a lot of unique people there, right? So when you bring a unique space, unique people, you got what they're doing, everything out there.
Yes.
What's so unique about it?
Ooh, I feel like there's not a lot of open area spots that you can not only just come with your friends, but you can bring your family members too, right? Like you can come with the kids, you can come with abuela, and just like have a good time and come hang out, right?
And so you guys seem to really know how to utilize the space because
maximize it, right?
Maximize exactly it. I was like, oh my gosh, they've got obstacle courses. Like, okay, all right. So first, let's just give everybody a little background on the Power Up Festival, its origins, and what inspired you to create it.
For sure, for sure. I mean, you know what? It's crazy because as we've started as originally content creators, we never really thought that we'd be in a space to even throw a festival. And so, you know, throughout the pandemic was when we really started throwing 12-hour events all online, bringing in guest streamers, guest DJs, throwing tournaments. And we were like, well, if we could do this online, why don't we do this in person? And eventually Bronx Brewery were the first ones to actually give us an opportunity with our first beer actually called Select Start. It was draft only. And
it sold out on release 2 hours before the event even finished. Six barrels of it sold out before the event finished.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to the community that supports us, right? The space holds at least 100 people. We had 333 people there that day, all throughout. So we had 3 shifts of...
So it was like coming and going.
Yeah, packing it out. That was at the East Village location. And from there, they were like, hey, we'll give you guys a shot. So they involved us in their Y series where they collaborate, with a lot of different community organizations like ourselves and like give us a highlight. And so that's where they gave us our first canned beer. It was called Power Up.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Sold in Trader Joe's, Whole Foods,
Wegmans,
Locksmith, North End.
OS NYC.
It's sold in a lot of places, not just at the brewery. So if you're available and you haven't tried it, you have the opportunity to try it outside of the brewery if you don't want to take the trip out there.
Right, and so it's called Power Up. What makes it different?
Ooh, I mean, it's a rice IPA, first of all. So, I mean, if you're a beer drinker, you know, IPAs tend to be a little strong, but it's very light, very crisp. And we added some chinola, a little passion fruit to it, and a lot of different hops to make it generally enjoyable. Like a lot of our community is not just a bunch of guys playing games, right? Like as I mentioned, we've had families come out. We've had, I think even our demographic is roughly 55-45 between like men and men identifying and then women and femme identifying individuals. And so it's very much so like we wanted a beer for everyone to enjoy.
And what about the age bracket?
I mean, if 21 plus to have a beer, right?
No. I'm not talking about the beer. I'm talking about your audience in general.
I mean, so
we have literally, you know, we have a really big selection of people, right? So, like for example, a quick story: we got this kid named Luiggy that he goes by, right? So he started playing with us through streams, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, online through our competitions, which was some of them were Meta sponsored. So he was like a winner in a lot of the competition.
At 14 years old.
Yeah, not just a winner, like obliterating people. And
Except us.
Yeah, except us. You were the
Except us.
tíos that he wasn't getting classes. Papá, tú sabes. Le tiene que dar un latigazo to learn. Pero
I love this.
he just kept learning, he kept getting better. And eventually now, with all the experience that he's had, he's superseded his own expectations. Now he's in college. He got a full ride, full scholarship to do what he's doing in the field that he's in,
Yep.
which I'm sure he's going to elaborate for me from there. Outside of that,
And this is all based on the association with
with just us, man,
With just
right?
us.
Like with us
That's so
bringing
dope.
what we love to do to the community, right? Like it's, as you mentioned, it started digitally, but then once we started throwing in-person events, he asked his parents to come out, right? And so him, his
Mom
father,
and
his
dad.
mom would come out and actually come enjoy it. And we created that safe space for one, they can bring their kid to come just play some games and hang
Right.
out. But listen, we as pops and moms now has a night out,
Right.
right? Know your kid is good. You have some music to enjoy. You can have some drinks and can actually just kick it together, right?
Right.
And that really created that kind of like bond and that testimonial to say like, hey, like not only is this something that is family friendly that you can come and enjoy with us because we're just sharing what we love with everyone else, but also there's something to grow from if you really want to continue moving forward. As you mentioned, got a scholarship for joining the esports program. He's actually a state champion out in Jersey. So his high school, I think, has won 2 years in a row, state champs. So huge shouts to him. And I think,
he's killing it.
we've even given them volunteer opportunities to put on his resume for his college credits.
All right, so explain this to me because this is a whole another.
So
it's a
basic-
whole like,
Yeah, yeah.
another universe. But I find it so fascinating because this is our future,
Yeah,
and there is
yeah.
this other community, right? This other means of socializing that now you've been able to now bring together in person. But yeah, you all have relations online.
Yeah.
So what happened with the digital world, it turned to the physical world. Because now when the pandemic stopped, per se, now we started going back to our in-person events. And after that, people that we met through Twitch during that time became new community, new family, right?
Yeah.
And it was people that came from as far as Staten Island, Connecticut, you name it, all within the tri-state area. Now that the door's open, now people wanted to come in and meet us physically,
Yep,
right?
yep, and come kick it.
And one of the biggest spaces, again, comes back to the Bronx Brewery. So we have a series called Gaming and Chill, right? So basically, we're gaming, playing games for anybody because we believe in gaming for everybody.
Yeah, and like old school games, retro games, newer generational games, just things for people to come play and enjoy.
What do you consider old school games?
I mean, like as far as Galaga, Pac-Man, Tetris,
All
right?
right, all
Yeah.
All the way back there.
I can relate to those.
That's our upbringings, and it starts even from like 8-bit, 16-bit, and now to the evolution of like PS5, people that play on PCs, and just seeing that evolution, we were not allowed video games in school. That wasn't a concept we could speak about, but now it's openly being discussed, not just discussed, being pushed in schools, and that's why he's one of the reasons that we always speak about because he's such a testament to the work that we put in, not just for the adults, but for the younger youth.
Yeah. And so I think circling back to then how that then culminated to where Power Up Fest is, it's so interesting because as we continue to throw the events and then we got that opportunity for the beer, we're like, all right, well, we already have gaming and chill and people already come out and enjoy this. How can we step it up a little bit? And so it was actually Luiggy through an opportunity that he had to, I think, give a hoodie to someone. I don't know. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
I'm from Uptown, from the Heights. I was also raised in Harlem, El Barrio. And growing up, there's a group called Dipset, the Diplomats. And through a connection, I met Jim Jones at an art show. And I met him, and I caught him looking at my hoodie. And I was like, yeah, my joint is fire, right? So I was like, this something. And I told him, I was, yo, do you like it? He was like, yeah. Exchanged information. Couple months later, I gave him the hoodie. And he was like, yo, yes. You stood through, you followed through.
Yeah.
And then after that, as I built that connection with him and his team, we had our event that was going to happen 2 years ago, and that was the release of Power Up. That was the first time we introduced Power Up, the beer, to the world, right? We did the tasting beforehand. We loved it. It was epic. We got lit the day up. Shh, don't tell nobody.
Better you just told everybody.
Yo, all right, y'all don't tell nobody. So that happened, right? And then fast forward, we decided all our events we always try to keep free.
Yeah.
For people to enjoy. Some people can't afford it, so we try to keep it free for all to enjoy, all inclusive, right? So going forward, we decided, how can we make this launch epic? This is New York City's first can organization beer in the state of New York, right? And on top of that, him and I always like to say, how can we push the limit? You know, ¿cómo se puede pasar el límite, right? So what we did was we decided, let's just put together an all-star lineup of DJs, but let's get a performer. I reached out to Jim Jones' team. Jim Jones was supposed to be the initial person to perform for us.
Yep.
Quick inside story, he was not able to, super last minute. And his manager told me, yo, I got Joel Santana. And I was like, that's a great problem. What? Like,
It's like, so
with
you
Joel's.
come, let's do that.
And after that, we had around 800 people that day.
Yeah.
It was completely packed. It was beautiful. Everybody from all different walks of life was there. And then we powered up to the following thing, which he came up with the idea, let's do a festival.
Because,
and he
how are
can
we up the
elaborate.
ante, right? Like,
Right.
come on.
How many people can fit in that backyard?
So, I mean, we probably have overpacked that way
man,
much.
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to speak what their actual occupancy is, but I know comfortably you could probably fit like a solid 500-600 in there.
Okay, right, because I just want clarity for our viewers, understanding that the one we were speaking of was the one downtown versus
Yep.
the one here
Yeah.
in the BX, and we're
Yep, yep,
looking
yep.
at an image right now. Now, I want us to walk everybody through every single thing that's going on, porque esto es like an all-day affair.
Yeah, so I mean, I felt very strongly about what we used to enjoy when we were younger, right? Like where I remember there used to be just street fairs that would pop up uptown in the Bronx, and we just don't have that anymore. And even as we engage more and more with the young adults, right, the younger students in schools, they don't really have spaces for them to just enjoy the things they love. And as big kids ourselves, we love obstacle courses, we love laser tag, right? Like we love all these things. So how can we bring that back to the Bronx? And so last year I had the idea. I was like, well, you know, it'd be cool if we closed down the street by Bronx Brewery and had like a street fair style situation to really expand upon it. And that's where Luiggy was like, hey, you know, well, if we're going to close down the street, we should get a second stage and have more DJs and just continue to expand from there. And so thankfully, Red Bull actually partnered with us to actually support our secondary stage. And we created what is now known as Power Up Festival, which included outdoor laser tag, over 25 local vendors, obviously the Red Bull stage, an 85-foot obstacle course, carnival games, which were under 10, so that all free prizes too. So you play a game, you're going to win something, you're going to walk away with it. And then we have the main stage, which is the BXB stage, and then you go inside, and we have a whole gaming pavilion. So 10 casual game setups for people to enjoy. Once again, as I mentioned, retro games, newer games, mostly all multiplayer. And then we also featured 4 live stream tournaments of all major games that are currently out. So Street Fighter, Tekken, Smash Bros, Mario Kart, for people to kind of enjoy and get the full gaming experience on top of the musical experience that we're having.
Amazing. So what time does it start and what time does it end?
So it starts at 3 p.m., ends at 11 p.m. Right? You know, we tend to usually go a little bit over the limit, and not in a bad way. It's just, hey, if we're all enjoying ourselves, we're not kicking everybody out.
So we're present, and if you're enjoying yourself, stay here as long as we possibly could until they kick us out.
Yeah.
Because again, as he said, we're young adults, but at the end of the day, we still honor the young kid inside of us. You can never lose their inner child, because once that's gone, now you're an adult forever. Who wants to be an adult? Responsibility is, I'm good off of that.
Right. Well, you know, we deal with our responsibilities, but child forever. I say
Right.
yes.
That's
I
a
say
fact.
yes.
That's a
Right.
fact.
I say yes. And thank you so much for creating the space for people to exercise that
Yeah.
and appreciate the inner child within themselves.
Of course, of course. It's so
my
awesome to
gosh.
do.
Ay, Dios mío, Brandon Henriquez, Luiggy Gomez. Once again, you guys, we were talking video game amateurs, Power Up Festival. That's right. The Power Up Festival is set to take place Saturday, June 14th. From 3 p.m. to the 11 p.m. at the Bronx Brewery, and that's located at 856 East 136th Street in the Bronx. For more information, you can visit videogameamateurs.com. Stay tuned. There's more open when we return.